Breaking news. Putin visits the Russian military headquarters near the Ukrainian border. As winter approaches and the war in Ukraine drags on, Russian President Vladimir Putin visited the southern military district headquarters in Rostov-on-Don to assess the status of his country's forces. He had already made 2 public appearances at the headquarters in the span of a month. Russian state media showed President Putin being greeted by Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov on Thursday night. The military strength of both Russia and Ukraine has been severely depleted by the nearly 21 months of conflict. Gavril Grigorev, Sputnik, Kremlin Pool. Vladimir Putin, right, talks with Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Chief of General Staff General Valery Gerasimov. Associated Press photo. The coming of winter is expected to cement the fighting into attritional warfare, and analysts predict little movement along the front lines more than 600 miles. Mr. Putin was briefed on the status of the war and introduced to new types of military equipment in Rostov-on-Don, less than 60 miles from Ukraine's southeastern border, according to his spokesman Dmitry Peskov, as reported by the Russian state news agency TASS. In the midst of tensions with the West over Ukraine, Mr. Putin made the stop on his way back from a trip to Kazakhstan, where he sought to cement ties with Russia's ex-Soviet neighbor and major economic partner. Russia launched a drone attack on Ukraine while Putin was at his southern military headquarters. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, 6 unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and a missile were shot at Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkiv, Mykolaiv, Poltava, and Kyiv. There were no immediate official reports of casualties or damage as a result of the attacks, despite the fact that another drone and missile were not intercepted. Russian President Vladimir Putin paid an official visit to the massive military installations in the Rostov region. Moscow, Russia's largest military base, is the nerve center for the country's invasion of the Ukraine. Seperti de Lancer AFP, Jamaat, the 11th of October 2023, Kunjungan Mendadak Putin yang dilakukan pada Kamis, 9/11, Malam waktu setempat ini merupakan kunjungan keduanya ke Rostov-on-Don dalam waktu kurang dari sebulan terakhir. According to the most recent Kremlin statement, Putin authorized the trip to Kazakhstan after previously canceling a trip there. After concluding his personal trip to Kazakhstan, Vladimir Putin will travel to Rostov-on-Don to see the headquarters of the Russian Airborne and Special Operations Forces, according to a Kremlin statement. Putin was accompanied on this trip by Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Russian military commander in Ukraine Colonel General Valery Gerasimov, according to the Kremlin. Kremlin officials also confirmed that Putin toured Russia's largest military base and received explanations about the progress of military operations in Ukraine. Read the full story on Dedik News. Putin dadak to Russia's military parade to declare invasion of Ukraine.